there, Simon from simonwoods.com. Mishmash of 5 wines here. Some of them have a little bit in common, some of them have absolutely nothing in common. Well, the first one, there is not much Braucol in the world. Some would say this is a good thing, some would say it's not. Braucol is a great variety and otherwise known as Fair Savadou. I think it's got a few other names. This one comes from the Cote de Tan. So we are in, we're in southwest France, where there are some slightly bonkers people and some equally bonkers great varieties. Is this bonkers good or bonkers bad? Let's give it a whirl. Le Champ d'Orphée. Le Champ d'Orphée. Well, there's a wild, ripe, savoury berry funk here. It's one of those wines that a purist would say it's not quite as clean as it could be, but boy, it's got a lot of character. I get just a little touch of Brettanomyces. I've just done a Bordeaux video, and there was one wine there where the Brett poked out and maybe took away some of the finer edges. But when you've got something that's young and lively like here, it's not all that bad. I don't mind it at all here. But it smells young and what I call blue fruit. I don't know, I'm trying blueberries and bilberries, and I don't know if you have wimberries. I'm thinking about things that grow among the heather in northern England, which are like blueberries but smaller and more intense in flavour. Dry, earthy, packed with fruit, chewy tannins. It's a bring me a beast type of wine, good with roadkill type of wine. What I'd want with that is well, I mean, the classic French skirt steak, where it's something that's got a little bit of chewing to do, but bags and bags of flavour, and that's just like the wine. It's not going to win any points for subtlety, but for honest flavour and character, and the sort of flavours that you really don't get in too many other places. I like that. Next one, we are in Corsica. Clopaggiale, which is belongs to the Scali enterprise, and Van der Koers. Most of it is, it's a 45% Syrah, but the rest of it is another wine, another great variety that is, I think there's a little bit of it on the main line, but Nielluccio. You really don't find that too many other places apart from Corsica. Let's see if we can find some of that wild mountain wildness in here. Now there's something here, and the first time I smelt it I thought, is that mint or is it herbs? And it's a very fragrant, slightly, not eucalyptus type of mintiness, but it's more on that herby thing. I was talking about wimberries growing among the heather. There's almost something like a heather fragrance here. And I don't know whether this is the soil or the Nielluccio, but there's a ferrous touch too. There's it feels like it's got that punch of Syrah, like slightly smoky berry fruit, but then it's also got this this herby wildness too. Yeah, there's those herbs, but there's also this raspberries and plums and black cherries, and something a bit like chocolate. No, maybe more on the mocha side, that little coffee edge there. Quite firm tannins. It's strange. It feels like it's got a refreshing fruit quality, but then these tannins kick in at the end. Very much food wine. And what would I like with that? I wouldn't mind a lamb shank with that. And this nice smoky, savoury finish. I'm enjoying the first two. Let's see whether I enjoy this one. Sans visage. 100 faces. You might know some people who are two-faced. Well, this one's got 100 faces, and it's Jean-François Mériot's Cotte from Touraine. Cotte. You might not be familiar with Cotte, but you'll know it as Malbec. In the Loire Valley, it's known as Cotte. And there's a few people elsewhere in the world. There's the winery in Chile called Perez Cruz. Is it Chile or? Yeah, it is Chile. And they call their Malbec Cotte. Oh, that smells wild and wonderful and weird and wacky. It's got this smoky, savoury, as if it's like a witch's brew of a wine. There's the fruit flavours. There's damsons. There's something that looks slightly more exotic, like pomegranate in there too. Even a bit of citrus. Like sometimes you get that orange peel character coming through in Syrah. Get a little touch of that here. I mean, forget Argentinian Malbec, which is more on that ripe. Excuse me, he said burping, chocolatey edge. But here there's a louche wildness which I find it smells really good. And what's really terrific about it is it's refreshing. This is Argentinian Malbec, can't fault its intensity, but sometimes it's refreshing, it's not. But this has got this iron-like, warm berry fruit, but refreshing, juicy acidity all the way through. And you almost like want a half-pint glass of it and have a glug of it and think, bring me some mega sausages. And this is rather meat-orientated set of food recommendations, but I feel meaty today, so I'm going to have some more of this. Oh dear, for palates jaded by an assault of... I did a load of Sauvignons the other day, and I could really have done with something like that at the end, just to make me go, oh, back on normal territory. It's not normal territory wine, but what it is a terrific drink. Maybe some people might object to a little bit of the acidity there, but I love the flavours. I love that refreshing food-friendly structure. Tasty. Let's go into the southern hemisphere now. We are in Chile. So we have Malbec there. This is Chilean Malbec. I know Argentinian there is normally the one in South America that does Malbec, but this is Santa Carolina's, what do they call it? The West Andes Malbec. I suppose East Andes is Argentina, but this is from a valley called, well, in the Rapel Valley, they split it into two bits. There's called Colchagua, which is probably better known, and Cachapual. So this is Cachapual Malbec. Well, there's no doubting its Chileanity, blackcurrant pastels, and that edge of reduction. I'm not sure where it comes from, but I don't know whether it's in the way that once upon a time you could spot winemakers who'd been to Roseworthy in Australia, or Wagga Wagga, Wagga as it is now, or, but there was like a footprint of the winemaker rather than a gentle thumbprint, and I feel that someone has almost tried too hard and followed a little bit of too much of a recipe from the smell here. I'm hoping to be proved wrong. I had the Sauvignon from these guys the other day, and that was terrific. Well, I can't fault its ripeness or its intensity, but it's a slightly lumpen wine after the one that's gone before. Quite, not clunky tannins, but it feels like there's someone here who hasn't learned the art of élevage, the art of, you make a wine and then you spend the next few months presenting it, putting it in a barrel, getting it to soften, round out, lose its gawky edges. Yes, you can leave a wine in a barrel for too long, but for me, they've almost left this wine in the barrel for too short a time, and you're left with a wine that's got quite aggressive fruit and the tannins too. Yes, I think it will soften a little bit with time, but yeah, not as keen on that. Let's see what I think about the last one. Chococino Shiraz. I don't know whether the upfront mocha and coffee aromas. I don't like this idea of South African Shiraz's tasting of chocolate. If I want chocolate, I have chocolate. I know I could say the same if I want black currants, I have black currants. But there seems to be a move to produce Shirazes in particular that have this overt chocolatey character. It's, for me, in the way that we got bored with oak in Chardonnay in the 90s, then I'm getting bored of chocolate flavours in my Shiraz. If I want chocolate, I have chocolate. And if I want Shiraz, I just want it to taste of... well, I want it to taste of the grape variety, but I want it to taste of the place rather than a process, which seems to be the way that people are moving with this. I may be building it up and getting it completely wrong. It might be delicious. Let's see. It's strange. It's not out and out chocolate. What I call it I can't remember the last time I had a blue ribboned biscuit or a taxi biscuit. I'm not even sure whether they still make them. But the idea of chocolate wafer biscuits, maybe with a little bit of almond cream in between them, that's more the character I get. That mix of wafer and chocolate rather than coffee and chocolate. Wafer, it's like someone's crushed wafers and put it into a wine. It's certainly got a lot of flavour. It's got a lot of personality. But I find it a bimbo wine. Can't fault the intensity, but I can fault the ambition. I want my wine not to taste of a process. I don't want chocolate wafers in my wine. I know people dunk biscuits in tea, and I know my wife dunks some rather strange biscuits into her tea, but here it's almost like someone's dunked biscuits that bit too much. I'd love to have seen what that wine was like
without the chocolatey oak treatment, because I think it's the oak that's given it that chocolate sheen. Because it feels actually quite light, not delicate, but it doesn't feel like it's a galumphing big Shiraz. Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 14.5% alcohol. Can't see because someone's plonked a sticker all over the back of it. But as it is at the moment, it will have its fans, but I'm not one of them. But I do love that Malbec. See you soon.